Welcome back to the Daisy Blue Show. We've got a great guest today. It's Amara Martin. She's the program director for Dress for Success. And we're really excited to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. We're thrilled to be here.
Awesome. Now, can you tell us what your mission is for Dress for Success and your particular role?
Absolutely. So the mission of Dress for Success is to empower women by providing professional attire, career development tools, and a network of support so that they can thrive in work and in life. Here's what that all means. That means that we are providing you with the resources that you need in order to interview as well as keep a job. So we're providing you with clothes, jewelry, accessories, the beautiful things that you're seeing here, but we're also providing you with career coaching, with financial education, support, understanding, and friends and a new community, a network, so that you can help and continue your career. I'm actually the executive director of the organization, and at the end of this month, I'm going to celebrate 12 years with the organization.
Wow. Congratulations. That's amazing. It's just so inspiring to have people like you a part of the world because there's so many things that are overlooked. And I think it's very important that we help people get into positions where they feel like they can do more with their lives. And I think you do that perfectly. I would like to know more about your clientele. So you were saying you kind of give them some more skill sets, not just their apparel, but what sort of things do you teach them when they're preparing for an interview?
Absolutely. So our first touch point with our clients, they're coming into our boutique space here. This is when they have a job interview or you're actively pursuing a job interview. You could have also already gained employment. And so we're teaching you what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. So we're giving you a little fashion lesson, okay? The things you should be wearing and the things you might want to wear on the weekend. Sure. And so we're providing that level of education. Then in our career center, we're teaching you how to sell yourself, how to speak about yourself, particularly if you don't have a steady work history, if you have a felony, if you are homeless and really struggling, if you're in school and have no experience. We're teaching you how to sell yourself and market your skills, as well as share your transferable skills. Then we have two other programs that we're running out in the community. We are going out to our partner agencies, fabulous partners like Mikasa Resource Center, as well as the Women's Being Project, and we are teaching job readiness classes to the women on site there. Then our final program is our signature program. This is Denver's largest networking group for the demographic of women that we are serving. It's called our Professional Women's Group. These are women who have come through our program at some point in time, and they are all employed. This is amazing. There are over 100 women that are meeting every single month. We bring in a speaker, we bring in opportunities for them to network, we bring in dinner, we give them a gift. But what is truly amazing is the women network with each other. And so let's say one woman came to our boutique 2 months ago. Another woman came 10 years ago, and she bought a home, she's starting a new business, and somebody else is just starting on their journey. It is that professional network that has really built the foundation of what we do and how we are really improving the community as well as the lives of women in Denver.
Wow, that is incredible. Now, I heard through a little birdie that you might have an event in October. Do you do a lot of events, and can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I'm so happy that birdie talked to you because we have an amazing event this October 11th at the Infinity Park Event Center. This is our big show. So this is the fashion and music event. That night we'll be premiering a brand new video featuring women in our programs. And speaking of the women in our program, we have a fashion show with 6 local boutiques and designers. And every single model in that show is a woman in our programs. So no professional talent. We are doing #real women on the runway. Oh, yeah. We have everybody from a 4'9" to a 6-footer like myself, a size 00 to a size 24, the women who are exuberant and out there and like, look at me, and the other women who the sheer fact that they're going to make it down this runway is an accomplishment. You know, one of the women, I was talking to her, And she was sharing how it's going to be really cool for her to drive to this event in the car that she is living in because she is homeless right now. Put on some pretty clothes, get her hair done, get her makeup done, walk down this runway, get back in that car and go and drive somewhere so she can sleep there. And that really brought it home for me for what we are doing. It's that moment in a woman's life where we are giving her that belief in herself. In Denver, we have a tagline: we inspire confidence, courage, and belief in women. And that's what we are really doing here. And since 2006, we've done that with over 17,000 women in our city.
Oh. Wow. Wow. And to think this is one of the first times I've ever heard of your organization. More people need to know about this. It sounds like a lot of great things that you're doing, and I know there's got to be some challenges with this. What are some challenges that you have faced?
Oh, absolutely. Well, as an organization, it's very challenging because in Denver, we are a fabulous giving city. In fact, Colorado has more nonprofits per capita than any other state in the United States. Which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. I mean, Denverites, Colorado people, we want to help everybody. And so it's hard for you to plant yourself and to really find your niche. And that was something that we had to do. And the clothing is our beginning of our niche, but it's not all that we do. It starts with the clothing. We start out that way, and then we get very deep into a woman's life. And something that I realized very quickly, when I give a woman a suit, and she goes and gets a job, what does that really mean? Well, that means that she can earn a wage, she can find a place to live, she can take care of her family. On average, our women have 2 to 3 children each, and 85% of them are single mothers. And so when I say we've served about 17,000 women, that's almost 33,000 children who have stability now because of what we are doing. And so that is a huge accomplishment and a challenge that we have seen. And it could be as simple as mom can afford the feed so that they can play football. Or it can be as impactful as they can have their own room. They're not couch surfing or moving around. It is truly amazing being able to do that. It's always, when I started out in this career, I actually came from the fashion industry. I'd been a plus size model for the majority of my life. And I had no nonprofit experience. I had no desire, quite honestly, to help people. But then I came down here and I saw the power of what we were doing. I saw when a woman puts on a jacket and what that jacket means. That, to me, it's just fabric. But to her, this is a life-altering moment. This is that moment when everything that she's heard, she actually starts to believe in herself. And I saw the magnitude of what we do. And I'm just like, I haven't stopped doing it since, and I absolutely love it.
It's addicting.
It is
Once you see how you can bring life out of people, it's very satisfying and fulfilling. And you have a bright future ahead of you, and hopefully for retirement. What is one thing that you would want to do after? Well, I mean, it is addicting, so possibly you'll be in this for a while, but if there was one thing you could do after you're done working, do something for yourself, what would that be?
Now that is $1 million question. I hardly ever think about me. I would say goodbye to Colorado. I'd probably say goodbye to the United States. I would have a little bistro on a beach in Spain.
I love that. Maybe I could come visit.
Oh, yeah,
that would be amazing. I love wine. Well, thank you so much. You are just truly inspiring, and we are so thankful and blessed to have you on our show. And like I said before, we need to know more about you and hear more about you. Where can we find you on social media?
Absolutely. Well, the first visit should be our website, which is denver.dressforsuccess.org. We are on Facebook at Dress for Success Denver, Instagram at DFS Denver, LinkedIn, as well as Twitter under the same names.
Perfect. Thank you so much again. Dress for Success, Amara Martin, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Daisy Blue Show. I've got Gretchen Pleshaw with me today, and we have a little co-host.
Gypsy, come here. Come on.
A really cute one. I mean, she's cute too, so it's just a bunch of cuteness. Who is this?
So this is my dog Gypsy. She's my co-host. I work for Always Mountain Time Radio on the Lift FM, as well as doing interviews for various sports around the world, like the X Games, whatnot. And she comes everywhere with me. She flies with me. She sits in the studio with me. She does interviews with me. I think she might be more well-liked sometimes than I am. I'm not going to lie. True story.
That's amazing. I'm sure there's plenty of people that like you too. But she's so sweet. Thank you for joining us today. So you were kind of telling us a little bit about what you do in Vail and what you've been a part of. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and your journey and what you've been through throughout your life to get to this point?
Sure. So my name is Gretchen Pleshaw. I actually started here in Denver. I will divulge my age. I'm 38 years young. And I actually started around 22 years of age modeling, acting here, I hosted a couple TV shows, and then that led me to the mountains. So I live in Vail, Colorado. I go around the world doing interviews of athletes for the X Games. I work for the Lift FM, Always Mountain Time Radio. I'm the voice of the Lift FM. Like today's best music, the Lift FM, it's Gretchen. And so cheesy, but true. Yes, I'm 6 foot tall, so I still do. I guess I'm walking in Fashion Week in Denver. At 38, pretty good. That's like 120 model years, so I feel good. You're sweet. I really like you. No, I also have been an actress. So I went to Atlanta every couple weeks. I've been in a couple movies with Steve Martin, Alvin and the Chipmunks I did. It's been an interesting ride. It's been a really cool journey. I guess one of the coolest things I've done was I was on a billboard for the Dove campaign with no makeup in Times Square. So that was really neat for showing your natural skin and owning your truth and your beauty. So yeah, it's been an awesome journey. I'm glad to be here.
Amazing. Well, I always say this, but you're so inspiring. That's why we have people like you on the show.
I'm like, thank you.
Of course. And age is such a hard thing in the modeling industry, as you were saying. And I'd like to know more about how you think, well, if it's shifted at all from how it used to be to now. Do you feel like people are a little more accepting in that, or what are your thoughts?
I love that you asked that question because we were speaking about it actually today on the radio. I do believe, especially now with a lot of, and not to take it to a deep level, but with us just being more open about mental health awareness and suicide, et cetera, I think people are just proud to be here and share their journeys and share their truth. And it's funny because I used to, when I was acting, and I know you say you model and act as well, which is really exciting. I feel like you're probably 20 years younger than I am. I could be your mother. But it's funny. It shifted even inside of myself because now with having so many friends that have lost their battles to mental illness and whatnot, I think I'm so proud to still be here. And I'm proud to be able to say, hey, I'm 38 and I'm still able to walk the runway and I'm able to do these things. So I do think it's shifted. And I see all these gorgeous women with, silver and gray hair and just beautiful wrinkle lines showing their life and smiles and just owning their beauty. And I think it is more and more in the industry, it's being accepted, which is beautiful. I think it should be, right? Like women are beautiful and men, but mostly women are beautiful at all ages. We age real well.
Agreed. Well, that's good to know. Just so you know, I am almost 30, so don't worry. Well, thanks, girl. What is if you could go one place in the world, where would you like to go?
Oh, I know this. Bali. That has been, yes, there is something about Bali that has been calling me for the past year. So that is my next place that I am definitely going to go. It's going to happen, manifesting it already. So it's in the works. So definitely Bali.
Yeah. It's just the vibes. Your soul's calling to it. Oh, hi, little one. She's being such a good little co-host. I love it.
She likes you guys.
Well, thanks. I love it. Bring her anytime. I share a lot of the similar interests and career paths as you. I would like to know a little bit more about your journey balancing modeling and acting and your radio show, and how do you do it? How do you do that?
I love you. A lot of coffee. No. I think when you do what you love, you just make it work. For instance, today, this is kind of a normal-ish day. I got up early, went into the radio station. I do 2 different shows that go from Crested Butte, Telluride, Aspen, Vail to Summit County. So I did both the shows for the Lift FM, Always Mountain Time Radio. Then I drove to Denver, got fitted for Fashion Week. That took about an hour and a half, and now I get to speak to you beautiful people, hang out. I'm meeting a friend afterwards, actually talking a little bit of shop for another project, and then driving back to Vail tonight. So I think when you really love what you do, you just make it work. And there are times you get tired and you get cranky, but I just feel honestly grateful and honored to be able to do this every day. And it's my heart, my truth, my soul. And so I just think of it like when I am tired, I'm like, you know what, man, I'm so lucky to do this. So yeah, that's kind of the balance thing. I still haven't really gotten down yet. To answer I think I wake up and I have to meditate. I do yoga a lot. So that's, my anxiety is a little crazy at times. I have to center. But yeah, I think you're doing a great job. You said you're new to interviewing and you're killing it. So yeah, no, you really are. You're doing great. I'm very proud of her. I'm very honest. You're doing great.
I appreciate that. That means a lot from you. So thank you. Just another quick question for you. What is one of the biggest challenges that you've faced? I know we kind of talked about age and all that, but it's so hard in this industry to not get depressed, and mental health is huge. It's so hard to keep going sometimes. Do you have any tips on how to I know you've done yoga and meditating. I'm starting to get into that too. It's really helpful, just so you know. Do you have any tips for people that are struggling with that, and what's one of the hardest things that you've had to deal with?
That is a very great question. I love that. I really like that question. I think that's beautiful. I think being a 6 foot tall woman, and I've been a size 2 to my heaviest, I think I was around a size 10. Right now I'm like a 4'6", the weight issue. I think my mom and dad have always made me feel so beautiful, and this is real, that like any weight, they made me feel beautiful about myself. And I remember being on a certain set in Atlanta and being told if I lost 20 more pounds, how pretty I would be and how I could do this and that. And I think you really just have to own your truth, be comfortable with what you feel, because I've seen women get really sick, including, at one point I was on the very thin end. And I think you just have to own and know when to say no. And just own your truth and be true to who you are. And the way that I'm able to do now is I'm fit and healthy, and I eat healthy, and I feel good. And if someone says, we want you to be a size 2, I'm like, I am 6 foot tall woman, and my body is not built to be a size 2 for me. That's not, yes. And there are some 6 foot tall women that are able to do that. But for me and my body, you would have to remove certain areas that are not worth being that I like. They make me a woman, so that's good. I think just being true to you and not doing anything that ever makes you feel compromised, and just being able to say no and not take every gig is something I've learned too. Not everything is meant for you, and I've turned down some pretty bigger things because they didn't go exactly with my morals, and I'm happy that I didn't do it, because it wasn't right for me, and it might be right for someone else, and that's brilliant. But not to be able to really just own your truth, I think is, that's probably it. Yeah.
I love that. And are you with an agent by chance, or are you freelance? So how does that work for you?
So that's another good question. I have been with 6 different agencies, 3 here, New York, LA. Right now I am signed with one major agency, and that's another thing that I've learned too. I think that you can get just as many gigs freelance, a lot of people, as you can with agencies, but having the right agent is very, 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 very important. And you need to be with someone that sees you, that gets you, that sees your vision, and really is going to help you with that vision and doesn't want to change you. That's a huge thing. So that's a big part. Yeah.
Wow. Cool. Good to know. I love this. And Gretchen, where can we find you on social media so we can keep an eye on you?
So you can find me. It's Gretchen Pleshaw. That's my name. And I have, so Instagram, just go to Gretchen Pleshaw. You'll see me there. I think I have a picture of me interviewing for the X Games in Aspen, I think is my picture. I have a fan page picture. It's so silly. The fan thing. I'm like my people, my tribe page, I like to call it. It's under Gretchen Pleshaw. You can Google me and find a bunch of interviews I've done, as well as on Always Mountain Time, the Lift FM. We have, if you have an iPhone, Always Mountain Time, you can listen from anywhere in the world for the Lift FM from, I think I'm noon to 7 on KKCH and 3 to 7, I sound Southern, 3 to 7 on KIFT. But yeah, if you just Google Gretchen Pleshaw, this will pop up. You can kind of I do a lot of really neat interviews. I just got to interview the original Whalers, which I was very stoked about. That was one of my favorite interviews I've ever gotten to do. So yeah, I feel very, very grateful. So.
Well, thank you so much for giving us your time and your little baby. She's so good. No, she inspires too. Well, thank you again, Gretchen. And we will see you folks in 2 weeks. Thank you. This is the Daisy Blue Show. We'll see you next time.